What is up, everybody? Duck here. Back and ignoring the shadowing, showing off the dip from this angle. But as you can see, went over it with the black, sanded it back a bit more, got it pretty good, and now I've got white over it. And beside it, I've got not one, but two ports. Alright, check these out. So these are the two short ports, which will be tuned high. And you can see that the glass is just wet paint, but just look at this. Also, you can kind of see where it goes from box to PVC, but in person it's actually harder to tell than the camera's showing off. But yeah, just look at these, like wormholes, voids that go from the flat surface of the wood down in. Oh man, they look so good. I don't know if you can tell how good they look on video, but they look almost perfect. And as you can see too, blue. It's going to be a blue box. Since the last revision, as you can see over there, it has it red carpet, sorry, black carpet, why did I say red? That was covering the top, and also there was a panel which covered off the amps so you couldn't see them. Although in this one, since the ports are on the back, I can't put that cover there anymore. So I thought, since I'm not going to be having a cover there and it's going to look like a gap down behind the box, I may as well just make it obvious that it's a sub box this time. So hence why blue. There's blue right here. In total, and I'll test the gloss clear coat tomorrow, but I've got that patch down which has white, this right here, and it's got the blue, and then I'm going to be putting a gloss clear coat on top, so it should hopefully be a very bright blue box. But so far I'm getting the gloss effect off the wet paint, and it looks really good, and I really hope it holds it. There's only a tiny bit of orange peel, and yeah, it's really hard to tell on the curved surface too. It's really small. In fact, the wood grain underneath is showing up much easier than that. This port too, this is just a test. I'm going to be sanding it back and probably primering it, the whole thing. So it'll all be super smooth. It'll hopefully end up looking like plastic, or looking like some sort of plastic water amusement thingo, which is what the vibe I'm getting off this blue duct right here. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. It looks really good. Yeah, something else, yet to see these ports here, twin ports, connected, bogged, sanded, strengthened. They're pretty strong now. It's going to be going right here. So just, I can't put it down, but you see there, so there's going to be, the 4 ports are going to be lined up on the bottom, and then there's going to be this conjoined port right up there under where that blue patch is right now. That's why I put that test patch there, by the way. I'm probably going to be, I'm going to be cutting it out. Other than that, this is, so far I've just haven't really had any problems, apart from these bits right here, which is where the paint wouldn't adhere to the glue, which is, or it did adhere, but it was very bumpy, and for some reason I'm going to have to dig that out and fill it with bulk, as things just really don't agree with the poor old tech grip over there. Also, I've covered up all the holes in here too, so now it went from about 30 holes down to 10, including 3 huge holes. Also, regarding the driver, it's hard to tell, or maybe you can tell. The inner part's been resined, so this has all got resin in it. It has strengthened the cone, which is good. Oh wow, that's dark. And I don't think I can turn the flash on mid-recording. Nice one, Apple. And over here is the most sketch dodge looking ass goddamn dust cap in the planet. This is it. You can see the tin foil under it. Gotta peel this all off the mold, but apparently it's stuck to the paper. I'll deal with that tomorrow. But yeah, this was me attempting to make a dust cap out of fiberglass to go on. I can't tell just how dodgy it is yet. I'm gonna have to get it off and cut all the way around. Damn, it's dark. You can see the ripple effect. The main thing is, as long as it's strong enough, then it'll be right. But if it's not strong enough, I wrapped the plug, the mold that I made with foil, so I should be able to unwrap the foil and give just using that raw water shot. But as I mentioned, subs accelerate hard. If it's accelerating at 1,000 Gs, which is not too unreasonable, come on, get brighter, then that means that 50 gram dust cap acts like it weighs 50 kilos, and that's one of the reasons why I strengthened up in here with resin. Holy crap, it's stuck, sorry about that. What is up, everybody? Dak here, and as you can see, I got a driver right here with a very different dust cap to what it used to have. This is now, and you can probably see a bit of excess glue like around there. This is a fiberglass dust cap with foil backing, which I made myself using, you can see that low resolution thing right in the middle of the camera with the red multimeter probe on it, using that as a plug. I gave it a shot and it actually turned out reasonably successful. It looks pretty ugly, I know, but it's very strong, and as you can see, like the glue around it, this is just Sika Tech Grip wood glue. Well, not really wood glue, more multi-purpose glue, but it should do pretty well. I've also fiberglassed underneath the dust cap, the cone itself, as this is a kind of fibrous cone, so the resin soaked into it and hardened it and stiffened it a bit. But yeah, now I've got to test it to make sure it doesn't fall off. As I mentioned before, dust caps can fill up to 100 Gs, so not 1,000 like I said before, more like 100 in this with this driver. Also, there'll be a bit of noise due to it now having the dust cap and there being a bit of back pressure off the desk, but I want to give it a bit of a trial by fire. No, I'll tip it over. Let's vibrate the desk a bit. Wait a second. Actually, I'm going to put it on that black chair there. It's working. Well, that's getting it. It's probably a good 3 centimeters of excursion both ways. Which I'm pretty sure it doesn't get that much excursion in the box. I don't know, maybe it does, but excursion's not so much the problem. The main problem is back pressure and the acceleration of the cone itself. Got a bit of hot wind here. It's just the chair rattling too. Oh, a wee bit of noise, but it's way below the noise floor. Alright. I can't give it any higher frequencies as it's way out of this driver's free air impedance curve, and it just heats up the coil like nothing, barely moves. But yeah, I'd say, at least for now, mission success. It's a really strong dust cap. You can knock it and the whole cone moves, gives it a bit of rigidity. The wood glue too, it's super strong glue. Yep, Sika Tech Grip, multi-purpose, so you can see some examples here. It doesn't actually list the examples, but dust caps, one of them. The only problem is it foams up. CA glue is way more optimal than this stuff, but I don't have any CA glue, and Also, the dust cap wasn't perfect. It was a bit lumpy around the edges, so I needed something to fill up those lumps. And over here, it's I suppose a similar story. It's just been bogging, filling, priming, scraping with a razor blade just to try to get it as smooth as possible. It's pretty good. I was trying to go for as flat as possible, but I think I've now run into a problem where I need to use a super fine bog in order to get rid of, like, see those lines right there where I bogged before, and sanding it just doesn't really do anything because it takes the paint off. Yeah, it's quite frustrating, but that's where I'm up to with this. I think before I put it back in the Mazda, I'm just gonna put it in as is, although it is missing some things, namely screws, the driver, and the ports, which are just down there. Also, I need to finish doing the amp rack in the Mazda, as in what I'll show you right now. It's a bit dark in here, but you can kind of see what's going on. See this wooden plate down here? It's tensioned down using that bow-shaped bit of wood there into the spare wheel thingo, retention mechanism. This is the foundation of the amp racks. You can see I've currently got the 4x100 watt amp here, as I still need some audio in the car. This runs that, so that's why this is in here right now, but it's going to become the two 500 watt amps in a V shape, and then that amp there will be twisted around and will be across the front, as there I've got the greatest clearance. I'd like to add some fans. I'm not sure how much current that yellow cord can handle though, but traditionally like a computer case fan, 12 volt, about 4 watts, which is 300 milliamps, 0.3 amps. Its current draw is not that high, so I should be right to add 1 or 2 of them in here just to try to churn the air around so the amps don't cook or anything. Or maybe the amps cook fan force, I don't know. The metal, and maybe if there's any air pocket kind of thing below the sub, hopefully it'll be able to transfer enough heat off the amplifiers just away, either via conduction through the metal or maybe some sort of convection flow. The air will make its way out and cool air will make its way in from somewhere. But yeah, there's still a fair bit to do. I could mount the two 500 watt amps right now, just left and right. Just got to rotate these ground cables around so they can reach it. But mounting that 4x100 watt amp is going to be a pain in the ass because it's bigger than the other ones. But I'll work out something. If I've got to get industrial strength double-sided sticky tape, then I will. I don't want to. I want to mount it properly. In fact, technically, this is the first time I've properly mounted an amp in this car. They've always been mounted to the box, which just sits in here. Super snug, but it just sits in here. This one's actually screwed to a bracket, which is fixed to the car. Yeah, it's amazing. So I've still got a fair bit to go. Next thing I could do right now is I could mark and drill the pilot holes into, oh, just chip the paint off, that's great. Come on, box. There we go. The bit that I jigsawed off this here kind of works as a second dressing down here for me to screw into. So essentially all these screws that used to be up here that you can just see the remains of, I'll be screwing an inch further down the box and probably bogging over it and that. The driver though still goes in its traditional spot. I had to remove some of the bracing, so I'm going to have to put that back in. This bit of bracing here interfered with the ports when they went around the corner, so I had to remove it temporarily, but I'll be re-adding it even if I just chop it off so it just goes from that middle brace to the side. But these ports here, you can see the slots too, as they need to bend because of the port, because this isn't an angle, so the port needs to bend where they connect. They just go straight back and across the back. So I haven't test fitted it yet, which is why I wanted to test the sub right now to see if I can put it in the box yet. And it looks like it'll work. This dust cap is stronger than the old one. The old one split. Other than that, all the adhesives on the old dust cap held, all the glue on it. This tech grip stuff, I've got probably 90% confidence that they'll do a good job. The dust cap itself maybe a 70% confidence. It's over 50, which is why I'm putting it in. If it was below 50, then I'd test it more until I built up the confidence. But I'm pretty happy with it. It almost looks cool. In fact, it half looks cool. I don't know. I don't reckon I did a bad job. Like, of course, it's ugly, but it's almost pretty ugly. Like, as in kind of weird, you know. Like, what's that pattern in it? It's tin foil. It's tin foil from the kitchen that I wrapped the mold with, so I could take it off. And as for the spirals, I don't know. Maybe this can be some sort of galaxy themed sub. There's a planet right in the middle, an alien planet. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna hopefully. Well, it's 44 right now. So I'm thinking I might just go to JCar and get some connectors for the box so I can put it in there when I have to. Also need to get some more cable, as the cable runs for the sub. Since the amps were mounted on the box, were virtually the shortest distance possible without the amps being inside the box. So I'm going to have to get more cable so I can reach. And some terminals, because I'm not going to be able to access the amps once the... Man, just as I say it's 44 degrees, the phone overheats again. Yeah, the box, pretty happy with it for the time being. Still needs, once it's all screwed together, I'll prime right along the top where you can see the wood grain there, still the layers. And then I suppose it'll be right to go in. I've also got to work out how to plug those ports. See for its normal operation, I need to increase the length of those a wee bit. In its normal operation, those two middle ports, those two right there, they're going to be blocked as they're just for SPL. When I've mentioned it before, but just in case you didn't see it, in the box's natural configuration, it's a 6th order, which is tuned to 55 hertz-ish and about 22 hertz. So the one port there by itself is in the small chamber and it's tuned to 55. Those two ports up the other end, those go behind them and they'll be tuned to 20 hertz. And those two ones in the middle there are plugged, but when I'm doing, say, SPL competition run, I'd plug this port by itself down here and all the other ports would be open, and that should tune the big chamber to 50 hertz or thereabouts and should give me a nice peak. So that's the plan anyway. I've got to work out how to plug the ports. I'm thinking of using something like this, getting the drill out and milling it down to a nice kind of plug for those curves. Put a bit of foam tape on it just so it seals nicely. Make two of them. Something else I could do is, if I wanted to tune the big chamber down to 16 hertz, if I plug three, or say those two ones in the middle, and then just one of those two ports at the end, it'll be tuned to 16 hertz in the big chamber, so super low. So that'll be pretty cool. Might be able to get some hair tricks out of that. Something that'd be cool. I'd like that. Yeah, other than that, that's all. Thanks for watching this update video. It's really hard to film me actually doing stuff because I'm very... I do a lot, then I do nothing, then I do a lot, then I do nothing. It's really inconsistent. Which is why this update style is pretty well the only one I can do. There are the two 500 watt amps over there, by the way. And they're sitting on top of the horn right now as it's back out the Mazda. Obviously, I showed the back of it before, but nah. Anyway, yep, thanks for watching. I'll leave a like and subscribe for more epic 6th order bandpass boot box building. See ya.